Okay, the following speaker for the day will be Mr. Robest Yong. Mr. Robest is a consistent and prolific award-winning inventor since the early of 1990s. He is also a life member of MINDS and an active judge in innovation competitions. He's a trainer, speaker, and also a mentor for aspiring innovators. I would like to invite Mr. Robest to present on how to ideate and invent. Mr. Robest, the floor is yours now.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, maybe you heard of this before, right? In the 80s, I don't know, 80 something, 1890, something about 100 years ago, this guy by the name of Charles Holland Jewell, he is the commissioner of the patent office in America. You know what he said? You can read that, right? He said everything that had been invented has been invented. We should close the patent office, right? That was 100 years ago. As you know, between the 100 years, you have iPhone 4, iPhone 5, iPhone 6, iPhone 7. You know, the invention never stops. But 100 years ago, this guy of his status said that, right? So as you know, people always tell you, don't go around reinventing the wheel. What he means that you do not invent a wheel that is square or rectangle, which is not practical. But you can still invent a wheel. You know, a wheel, there are many things in the wheel. You can even add in the tires, about the tires, about the rim, about the tubes. You know, there's many other things regarding the wheel. So even if you don't reinvent the wheel, there are many things you can do for the wheels. This is, you know, there's many ideas you can actually add on to the wheels. Take example, our simple pencil, right? As you know, see, you have the common pencil, and someone come out with a peeling pencil, which means that you do not need a sharpener to make the pencil sharper. You just pull the string, and the side of the wall will automatically peel off, right? And the pencil will have the sharpness in that again. And you come out with pencil with erasers, especially this one, extendable pencil holder. Maybe the kids these days have never seen this. You know why? Because those days when people are poor, right? So when the pencil get very short, they are not able to hold it. For us, maybe when the pencil is sharp, it's halfway, we already throw them away. But those days when people are poor, so what they did, this guy invented the extender, right? So you just connect the remaining short pencil to the extension, and they can hold it properly and write again. And we have many types of pencil, mechanical pencil, whatever pencil, right? You see, invention is about what? No, it's about solving inconvenience, right? So if you have actually holds a can of Coke or anything, those days that when you want to drink from the can, normally you pull up the tap, right? You put up the tap. So those days that this tap comes off from the can. So you hold on to the tap. And what you do, you have to find maybe a rubbish bin or something, throw that away. But most people like you, what do? You put it inside your pocket. I'm sure you have done that before, right? Because you couldn't find a rubbish bin. So what this guy came up with this idea that, okay, to solve this inconvenience, why don't you, after opening the can, the tap is still intact with the can, right? Simple as that. And it's also about, like Dr. Liu said, in a lot of innovations, so it's about adding features. You've seen a straw, right? And people come up with a straw with a spoon, especially this for people who like to eat this bubble tea, right? They got this little small apple eggs, right? They need the thing to scoop up. So instead of the shop giving them a spoon and a straw, they come up with a spoon with a straw. And someone come up with a straw which is bendable. A straw of this bendable straw, it costs 4 times more than the usual straw, right? For the manufacturing part, the material cost is still the same, but because of the design, the innovation involved, this guy makes more money. Okay, have you had this problem before? Have you ever tap out something and go home, I'm sure you did, right? So, do you notice the problem? Do you ever notice the problem? I'm sure you know the problem. See, when you go back, when you want to untie the thing, right? When you want to untie the thing, that is where the problem starts. Am I correct? Right? Especially you tap out your chendol or thing. The thing, the plastic is usually oily and sticky. It's very hard for you to untie the rubber band. So what you do? Maybe you bite lah, huh? You bite. You take a scissors and cut. You take a knife. So this is all inconvenience. What happened? You're outside. You don't have a knife. You don't have a scissors. You know. So you don't know what is the answer. Okay, I show you this thing, right? So you know this is a rubber band, right? Everyone knows a rubber band, right? So rubber band for you to tie something. You see, I tie rubber band, right? You can see this, right? I tie. So now the problem is to untie. You know how simple is it? I can close my eye. Look at this. I can untie the thing. Is it magic? It's not magic. It's simple. You know what is it? It's just a rubber band with a loop. So simple, that right? So as of course, it's not for the hawker to tie the rubber band to make the design. You know, every rubber band you use to tie it takes a lot of time. So we are going to produce. I hold a patent for this, right? So we're going to produce a rubber band which have a knot, right? So it's the same. You see, the usage is the same. You don't change. You don't try to change people behavior or think how people do things difficult, right? You can see rubber band have a knot. You just need to hold it, pull it off. That's all we do. So invention, innovation, or whatever, it's simple. You don't think of something, you know, so space age technology, right? For me, I'm very realistic. I do the things I can, right? This is my first invention. Everybody knows what is rubber stamp, right? So those days, when people want to make a stamp, you know, especially the company or your school teacher, I want to make a chop, right? You go to the shop. This guy, this rubber stamp maker, takes about a week before they can actually mix a stamp for you. So you must understand the way they did it last time. What they do, they have to compose, you know, the letter bits A, B, C, D. If your name is Alibaba, you have to put A, L, I. They have to compose the thing, arrange the letter bits, make a plaster mold, burn the rubber inside the mold, and take it out and they cut. That's a very long and tedious process. That's why it takes so long. So my invention is just a small little machine. We're using the concept of photopolymerization, meaning we use light to cure the rubber. And we use water to etch it out, like you're making printed circuit board, you know, printed circuit board, right? And you can make a rubber stamps of very fine, very fine type of image. We can duplicate anything, even a signature, I can duplicate it. As long as we have a sample, right? What we need is just to scan and we print out, you can make a stamp. You know, somebody told me, if I live in China 100 years ago, I'd be emperor. You know, the joke is that whoever holds the royal seal, you will consider emperor, right? So it's simple, that rubber stamps. We make this in 5 minutes. Now you can see a lot of bookstore, right? A lot of bookstore, all the stationery shop over town, rubber stamp, 1 jam, setengah jam. That is my mission. But that was a long time ago. This is also one of my, talk about my product, right? So I also invented, first, of course, for you to invent something, you have to know, you have to see the problem or somebody's problem. So one day I went to this nursery, I want to buy some fertilizer for my plant, right? So when I went there, I saw all the fertilizer, they come in a big bag, big, bulky, heavy, smelly, you know. So I said, this is, I know, inconvenient for me. What happened if people live in a condominium? They're small space. They do not want a big bag. You want something convenient, right? You do not solve a problem with problem, right? So if they buy something good and it's inconvenient to use, inconvenient to store, then people won't use, right? So my invention, very simple, right? It's so small, it's make it very concentrated. So the application is simple. You put like Ajinomoto, you know, you just sprinkle on, right? Just sprinkle on, right? So it's easy to use, very easy to keep. right? So we actually save on the transportation, packaging a lot. So even it looks more expensive. One bottle of this is about 40 ringgit. It's a lot of money, but in the long run, it's cheap. We only need to apply once a month, just enough to cover the area of a 10-cent coin, right? So one of this bottle, or we call it bottle, all right? It can, if you got one pot of plant, just one pot of example, one pot of plant, it can last you 15 years before you finish. Right? Of course, you got many plants, that is your problem, not my problem, right? Right? So it's very impressive. What we're using is probiotic enzyme. When you put inside the soil, the microbes will grow, right? So of course, it's more on high tech, right? So the plant will grow very fast and very convinced, right? So, okay, I show you a video how thing goes.
Forestry, photonics, and fertilizers. These are some of the fields in which Malaysians have created new and better ideas. And this is what we bring you in today's episode of Malaysian Inventions and Innovations. Coming up next in our solo innovative segment is a new product for greener and healthier plants. Robest Yong is his name, and he is one of the best-known independent inventors. He has won over a dozen awards for his inventions. Robest made a name for himself as the inventor of the polyclone instant rubber stamp machine. With diversity in mind and interest in gardening, he experimented with a new formulation for fertilizers that led to the development of Green Wizard. From a very early age, Robest Yong had a penchant for creating new things. Over the years, he has created dozens of inventions and won dozens of awards, both national and international. Among the awards are National Inventor of the Year in 1994, awarded by the Ministry of Science, Technology and the Environment, 1997 National Youth Award, Outstanding Young Malaysian Award, and medals at the Geneva International Invention Exhibition.
I was interested in all this invention thing when I was young. In the school, I like to support all these new things. And I only started great invention in 1990 when I started making a rubber stamp machine.
Among Robest's most successful invention is the polyclone instant rubber stamp machine that was launched by the Prime Minister in 1994. It is an invention that revolutionized the art of making rubber stamps. With this machine, even the most intricate rubber stamp can be produced within 5 minutes. This invention found its way to market all over the world, including Thailand, New Zealand, Russia, and the United States. This enterprising inventor now manages his business from his home, which he has refurbished inventively. It has a well-equipped office and plenty of rooms for Robest to think and experiment his ideas. Green Wizard is an organic-based fertilizer. It contains enzymes that help to promote the development and multiplication of microorganisms in the soil. This will help to decompose the soil and increase its nutrient contents.
When I moved in this house, I was into gardening. Before I was never gardening. So when I went to a nursery to buy some of the fertilizer, what I saw was those very bulky types, all kind of big bags, and they're not so effective because they're very diluted. So my idea is to get something which is more convenient to apply. I mean, for home gardeners, right? They need something which is more convenient, the application must be simple, and it must work well. This is why I'm going to why I did this.
The specially formulated fertilizer is packed in concentrated powder form. The uniqueness also lies in its packaging. It is clean and convenient to use. Just a dash or two. The next dash of fertilizer is only required after 2 or 3 weeks later.
This fertilizer can put for any type of plant, even flowering plants, fruit plants, vegetables, anything. Because this is a soil fertilizer. To my thinking, soil is not important to a plant. Soil is just to hold the roots, right? The plant doesn't eat the soil. Plant only eat the nutrients. Right? So this is to add the nutrients into the ground. And this fertilizer, the unique part is that it contains a certain kind of enzyme we call it a probiotic enzyme. Where they put it around, it will enhance the growth of the microorganisms or the bacteria. Right? We need this bacteria to break down nutrients which we put in and which already existing in the soil. Only then the plant is able to absorb it. And it also contains kind of chelating agent, which makes the water wetter. What I mean wetter? Wetter is a surface tension water, right? We need the water to be more thicker, right? So plant absorbs the nutrients through the water. If the water is not thick or too thin, the plant only absorbs the water. It don't pull out the nutrients. So what this does is that it helps the water be thicker, and when the plant absorbs the water, it pull out, also pull out the nutrients which they need. That's why it works very well. Plants.
The advantages of Green Wizard are many.
I believe this product can go very far. Because my target is for all the home gardeners. Home garden means almost every home should have a plant. Even if whether it's a big garden or a small garden. I'm sure they have at least a small pot of plant. Right? So some people who have a small garden, if they go to nursery, normally they buy a big pack fertilizer, which is very inconvenient. They have to put a lot. Right? So those which they cannot finish, they have to tie with a rubber band, put it in a Tupperware, and then keep it for a long time. So sometimes if they forget about it, the water goes inside and it gets spoiled and they have to throw it. But my product is very simple. It comes very concentrated, and the application is so simple that you can just put like a salt, just apply in, and it works very well.
Robest Yong has not advertised his product, but friends and neighbors have already placed orders for the Green Wizard. That's because his large garden does the advertising for him.
Few this multi-level companies are very fortunate for this, right? So these people have all the networking, right? They're very interested in this product, because this is a repeating order product. So my target is every household. Even the people live in an apartment where they only got one pot of plant, these people are working for ideate, CEO, where they don't like to put on a special clothing to do the gardening. They just want one pot of plant. So this will be very popular for them. Right? They don't dirty their hands, and they just don't look awful like in the house. So my target is even from the biggest bungalow to the smallest apartment.
Healthy leaves, luxuriant flowers, and bountiful fruits, the result of Robest Yong attending to the root of the problem. His wizardry in inventions has led to the development of a formulation to enrich the soil that feed the plants. With a dash of Green Wizard, plants become greener and healthier. That's Robest's most recent inventive accomplishment.
All right, thank you very much. But that video was many years ago, right? When I was younger. So my name is Robest. I'm from Penang, but now I'm residing in Kuala Lumpur. So this is my handphone contact everything. You can write it down, or I can give you later. You can contact me if you have any problem, right? So throughout the years, I said I started in the early 1990s, right? So these are some of the awards. I don't think it's so. Actually, some of the awards, the most recent one, which I'll talk about later, is a water filter thing, which I actually co-invented with my wife. I'll talk about it later, right? So these are some of my earlier invention, right? We have even the mosquito coil thing. Okay, right? So like I said, I think that's not very important, this thing, right? So like Dr. Leo said, I've been a judge, I've done most of it. I was once working under this agency in West Malaysia, which I was an innovation ambassador under the Prime Minister office, right? Right. So we talk about mosquitoes now. Everybody talks about dengue, we have dengue. So for mosquitoes, if you have a problem with mosquitoes, what do you do? Right. Normally, what you do? You use mosquito spray, mosquito coil, mosquito mat, whatever. We will try. Our solution is to chase the mosquito away, to drive them away, and maybe to bite your neighbor. It's okay, right? Don't come here. Please go next door and bite the neighbor. Right? Very kind of you, right? So that is not a solution, especially using a mosquito coil, something like that. Because mosquito, you see, when you at first use a certain brand, it works very well. There's no mosquitoes. But after 1 week or two, that mosquito, that insect get familiar with the smell or thing. They are not afraid anymore. They will come back to you, right? So the thing, you get familiar. So my invention is that it's an attraction. Other people use repellent. For me, invention is about 180-degree change. If you can, don't improve by 10%, 20%. If people go left, you must go right. Don't go, little bit left, a little bit right. All right. So while other people repel, I attract. I use a kind of formulation which attract mosquitoes to a glue paste, a place that thing. When the mosquito land on it, thinking it's human, it will get stuck. Do you know what attract mosquitoes? It's not your blood. Mosquitoes don't sense your blood. It's actually a carbon dioxide when you breathe, right? And the sweat, that attract mosquitoes. Okay, this is what we see every day, right? Those days, either you have a basket or a trolley. A basket, of course, is small, easy, but you have to carry it. A trolley could be big, especially if you buy just one bread and one butter, you don't take a big trolley. So someone come out with the idea with a trolley, with a wheel. Why is so difficult for that? But this maybe 10 years ago, right? The trolley with the wheel, it's not very long. Why do people take so long to come out with such a simple thing, right? This what they say, that the problems that people overlook. Problem, you see, no problem. I'm sure you have been to a shopping complex, right? You see something, example, if you see something drop on the floor, what do you normally do? Okay, you say, this is not my problem. I didn't make the thing to fall, right? Somebody drop it. There are some people paid to pick it up, right? That's what you might be thinking. So, or you could have picked it up and put it back and walk away. Okay, I've done a good deed. I'm very kind. I pick it up, I put it back. Civic, you think, oh, I'm very civic conscious. Yeah, okay, right? But if you are an inventor, you want to invent something, you do not pick it up and put it back. What you should do, you should pick it up, put it back, and start to think, why did it fall? What makes it fall? Right? So you can start thinking an idea to prevent it from future falling. But maybe you invented a rack where things cannot fall. Right? That's invention. This is how you get idea. When you see a problem, think about it. Don't just pick it up, put it back, and walk away. Right? This is how you get idea. Okay, this is the same thing which we are very proud of. Right? The igmatic, our former friend, Dr. Hill. Okay, do you know what inspired him to invent this thing? Not inspiring doesn't mean that why he do it, but where this idea comes, the solution, where the solution came from. You know what is it? It's an hourglass. Maybe he was watching Alibaba or Aladdin, something, right? Where people use the sand to tell the time. The principle of this enigmatic is the same. Instead of sand to tell the time, he used water to tell the time. So when they put hot water into the container, the time for the water to drip off would determine how long the egg is going to submerge in the hot water. That would determine how well the egg is going to be boiled, right? How hot the egg will be. It's as simple as that, right? So you must inspire something to create something, right? So it's nothing new. So you use A plus B equals C. Don't A plus B equal A plus B. A plus B must be equal to C. Must be something, right? Okay, have you seen this little thing, right? This little thing. This thing is actually a toothbrush holder, right? It's invented in local invention. So the usage, you see, you do not have to, you push it up, it lock. So when you want to brush your teeth, you put it up, it comes out. You do not have to touch this thing. So every morning you just like that, right? So how it works. And the same question I'm going to put to you is that, where does the idea came from? What's inspired him make this? You know your file, the book binder, you pull it up, it open, you push up, it actually close back. Using the same principle. But this is interesting. This is a toothbrush. Why does this toothbrush look so peculiar, so strange, the shape, right? I'm sure your dentist asked you to brush up and down. Am I correct? And they say you must up and down. But everybody, what they do is side to side, right? Maybe it's not so effective. So this guy make a toothbrush which is have a concave shape. So you can actually go inside and brush, right? This way you can brush this way, whatever, right? So it's something new, right? Whether it's good or bad, it depends on you, right? So okay, the same thing. What inspired him to come up with such a funny shape, right? Can you guess? No, it's a chanko. This guy is a farmer. So to him, it's chanko. Why the chanko have a shape of a concave? So when they plow the soil, the effectiveness of the thing removing the soil is greater if the chanko is straight, something. So he make the toothbrush just like a chanko shape, right? So you just brush this way. My advice to you, right? Some people, your teacher will tell you, oh, you must just go for the high hanging fruit. Some teacher will tell you, oh no, you go for the low hanging fruit. You know, everybody have different opinion. To me, it's about you go for the reachable fruit, the fruit that you can reach. If you're tall, you play basketball. If you're short, you know, if 5 feet tall, don't think of playing basketball. Right? You can try all your time or so. You know, you won't achieve. You know, let's be realistic in life, right? So if an elephant, you can play sumo, right? So if a rabbit, you eat something, you must be rich. You must be reasonable in life. So you go for the reachable, what you can do best, right? So if you're not so clever, don't think of making a rocket, no? Let's be realistic. That's why you see people, I say, a lot of inventors are romantics. They are dreamers. They dream too much. So most of them will die as pauper, right? They die poor. Okay, I'm talking about this. Actually, this project is my wife project, right? Which I coach her to come with the invention, and then we help her to, right? So look, they're talking about orang asli. First, you must understand people's problem. So if we are talking about orang asli, what is the main problem? It's the water, right? So where do the orang asli get the water? They get water from the well, from the stream, from the pond, from the rain, everything, right? So they have to carry water. But the problem is that, as we know, with logging, with the mining, with the rubbish, everything, the water is getting dirty. And what can they do? They still have to live there. And of course, there are many types of filters, which is, okay, even, at one time, I think about 1 year, 2 years ago, there was a lot of people, in Kelantan, the tribes, so many of them died because of the water contamination, the skin problem, I think. Of course, there are many solutions to solve a problem. But see, all solution comes with their own problem. Most of water filter, as you know, we need water pressure. We need water pressure to make the filter works, right? So, and it requires a lot of construction. You see, they have to build a tank very high, for the gravity to flow. If you don't have to tap water pressure, you can use, right? Then the maintenance. Problem is maintenance. Everybody use, everybody share. Who is going to maintain? Who is going to wash the thing? Right? So you must come up with a solution which must be cheap. Orang asli are poor. And it's so way inside the jungle. So if you want to carry the thing in the bulky and bake it too instead, it's a big problem. So everything must be user friendly, must be effective, must be quality, must be good, maintained, easy. Everything must be there. So what we created is very simple, right? It just, the innovation actually is a cap. This water is a Coke water, battery water. From this simple innovation, we are able to enable them to filter the water. 1 minute, you can actually have two bottles of this, of clean water. And it removes 99.99% of all this bacteria, E. coli, bacteria, dirt, everything, right? And of course, okay, I show the video. I think this, I like to show video.
But this mother of a teenage son is well known to many who have benefited from her invention, the Infinity Easy Water Filter System. The filtration system provides clean water without using electricity and is effective with minimum pressure. It all started when Yumin and her friends went on a social reach out in Kampung Singpai, Negeri Sembilan. Using a 1.5-liter water bottle filled with water, Yumin made 2 holes on the cap, one for air to be pumped in using a bicycle air pump, and the other to connect the bottle to a ceramic water filter. The simple water filter system can produce up to 3 liters of filtered water in 1 minute.
Right. So you can see, very simple, very practical, very cheap. So why? Because it must be user friendly. You know, you understand that this orange, all these people, they are quite simple minded, and you cannot give them high tech thing. You know, you give them solar panel, one wire Bluetooth, it's finished, right? It's much simple. So the bench eventually we are gone. We deploy them. I think about 100 over orang asli kampung, you know, from Kelantan to Terengganu, all this. There are plenty of orang asli, right? So these marginalized people, of course, now they clean water lah. We even gone to many countries, even like Myanmar, Burma, Nepal, the whole world, third world countries, plenty of them. Right, this is Indonesia. The one that side is Indonesia. The Lombok, they are the Lombok earthquake, the camps. So these people are still saying that the water comes in a truck. So of course you can shower, you can wash, but it's not drinkable. So with this filter, it's as good as your house water filter that we Cambodia or other countries, right? So even like the Bangladesh, we even sponsor them to the Royal Malaysian Force when they are going to oversee. You know, this I think it's taken in Bangladesh, the refugees Rohingyas, right? So these are some of the awards you won. Even recently, you won the best of the United Nations SDG Gold type of awards. And she was also the MOSTI MCY award winner for 2019. Right? So these are the some of the newspaper. Some newspaper maybe you've seen it before. Okay, this video is taken at the Rohingya refugee camp in Bangladesh. Right. So look at the water these people are drinking. This water is from the tube wells, where they dig the water from the wells, and what they can do is that they just let it settle. Take the cleaner one on the top, maybe use the t-shirt or the sarong to tape lah. This is water they're drinking, right? They have no other choice. Right. Look at this. So they just put the dirty water in the bottle. They pump a few times the water pressure. Water comes out. It's so clean, right? To them, it's a miracle. Such a simple innovation. It solves a big problem. Simple science. Just use pressurize the bottle to create the pressure, force the dirty water through a filter. It comes out clean. What's so difficult with that? This is basic primary school science type of science subject, right? So simple. These people have never seen clean water in their life. Okay, so other from that, I also liked, I did a lot of workshop for kids, right? So my philosophy is like, you think without the box. Some people ask you to think outside the box, think what within the box. I said, no, you shouldn't have a box. You should think without the box. Once you got a box, you're going to restrict your thinking. Example like, think outside the box. If you are making tables, the only thing that you think of something associated, maybe the chair, the floor, I think you will not think about plant, you will not think about cars. You know, these are all a different type of industry. You never think of that. So if you think without the box, you can actually use some technology or some ideas from a different field to help you in what you're doing. So that's the meaning of think without the box. This is one workshop I did a few years ago. It's under the International Youth Center in IYC in Cheras. So we conduct for school kids. But you maybe some of them are early secondary schools, I think, and also from this industrial, right? So what they do, we teach them a basic about innovation and everything. Then they have to come out with an idea. They need to pitch, they need to explain, and we give them some prize. We're happy, right? See, yeah, just I think Form 1 or Form 2 students. These are so they have to write it down. The idea I show you some of the ideas are very ingenious ideas, right? Actually, they are primary, they are secondary school, right? Okay, this is one of the ideas they have, right? So the idea started from where? One of them says, "Oh, see, when my mother cook delicious dishes, I wait for my father to come home or my brother to come home. By the time they come home, the food become cold and it's not as delicious." Right? So the ideas come with a food cover, which can retain the heat of the food. So similar, right? Basically what they require. So they come up with a heater type thing, a fan to circulate the air between the tudong saji, I think, right? And they also have insect repellent to repel the flies. Right? They can add in a lot of things, which is a simple idea, right? Oh, and this group, they come up with trolley. You say, "Oh, my trolley, if I put the egg, and the next thing I put the rice is going to crash the egg, and the egg is broken, or vegetable is going to go messy, I think." So they come out with a trolley, which got this partition. And so for extra, they need have extension where they can hang the bag or whatever. And the unique, and they will come with one, no? Those days, they have this power bank were not so popular yet. So so what they do, they put a dynamo in the wheel of the trolley. So when the shopper push the trolley, it will charge the phone, right? So this will encourage the shopper to push more, to see more, and to buy more. That's the idea. This is ingenious. This group came in pretty late, so we write them with drinks and food, right? So when the drink is finished, as you know, when the drink is finished, you know what they have to do? Somebody have to lift the side of the water container for the water flow. So simple. I say, why don't you, instead of having that, why don't you build the floor of this water container to have a sliding gradient? Due to gravity, the water will flow. Don't have to open the cover and scoop, and don't have to, somebody have to carry everything. So simple. Okay, this one, I think it's a group of girls, of course, girls, right? So you say, "Oh, I like to wear flowers in my hair." So, but flowers, at times, the flower get spoiled and the smell change, everything. So I say, "Oh, I want to make a hair clip, which the design can be interchangeable. Today I put a rose, tomorrow I put a lily, tomorrow I put a butterfly." And this also comes with a fragrance, like capsule. So when they want to use, they just need to break the capsule, and they release the perfume. So it's something actually very commercialized. So people today, you put this perfume, tomorrow put other perfume. So it becomes a product that they're going to sell. Oh, this is funny. This guy says he read somewhere that Manek is good for the flows of the blood. Right? That's why I got people sleeping on magnetic chair, magnetic mat. You believe that if you sleep on magnet, the blood flows better. So he said, "Okay, why don't you make a hairbrush where the tips have magnet? So as you comb your hair, it stimulates the blood flows and your thinking glands, everything. It makes you smarter." He said, "Well, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. We have no proof. So if you are going bald, maybe you scrub it, your hair will grow back." This is just ideas which is not proven yes or no, but it's nice. This is how people think. Okay, so come back to my principle, right? So everybody have ideas. Most people have ideas. When you come to idea, how do you validate the idea? Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Medium idea? Mediocre idea? No, right? So people keep coming to me. "Hey, I got this idea." To inventors, all the ideas to them is the best in the world. No, you cannot tell, "Oh, this is a bad idea." They will say, "Oh, you're trying to sabotage me. You're trying to throw cold water in my idea." No, you're not encouraging anything like that. they always think all the ideas in the best in the world. To them, this is a best idea. So I say, okay, never mind. I give you a methodology where you can actually go back and gauge your idea of yourself. You don't have to ask me, gauge yourself. So this is called a DAMS approach dimension. As you know what DAMS means, DAMS means stupid for dollar. DAMS is okay, DAMS, right? DAMS. So what the DAMS means? First thing, DAMS, right? It's a D. Your question, ask yourself, is your idea doable? Can it be done? Don't say, oh, Japan have done, America have done, people have done the thing, technology. But the question is that they are not you. You are not them. They can do, but can you do it? Right? Maybe this thing needs 10 million, you don't have 10 million, you cannot do. So don't think of idea. Elon Musk has gone to space. Can you go to space? You cannot, right? Let's be realistic. Do something is doable by you. We are talking about invention where you can do. Don't talk about ideas and romantics. I want to go to the moon. They're not talking about that, right? The question is that, can you do? It's about you. So it must be doable by you, right? I want to make a car that fly. Of course, everybody make a car that fly. Kindergarten students also want to make a car that fly. Can they do it? End of the day, cannot be done. Nothing come out. So the next one, the U. What's a U? A U must be usable. You can make a pencil 5 feet tall, 5 feet long. You can write, no problem, you can write. Right? But can it be used? Or you make handphone, if the handphone is still so big as your bag, and it's workable, but it's not usable. So these are two different things. Workable and usable are two different things. How practical? So next one is marketable. Invention is about marketable. You must be able to sell. Cannot sell, don't do. Who's going to pay? Right? So marketable means what? Even if something that everybody needs. Say McDonald's give free burger, people queue up. But if you don't need to pay, how many will you pay? Maybe you sell one to the auntie, one to the uncle. That's all you do. So it must be marketable. There must be a market for it. Market means people are willing to pay, not people are willing to use or need it. Right? People are willing to pay or not. So marketable. So what about B? B means bankable. Bankable means that you must have profit. Right? If you invest, if somebody invests on a project, cost them 10 million, but each of these things he make 1 year, he can only the best can make 10,000. It's not a bankable type of product, right? So much investment, so little profit. The ROI will be long. There won't be any investment, right? Investor won't come in and say, "Wow, let me invest in you. I give you 10 million. Let's grow together and we share profit." Right? If it's not bankable, there won't be any grab. There won't be any, all this unicorn type of startup, right? Startup must be bankable, that people invest. If nobody invests, you will never grow. So the S, what's S? S must be sustainable. How big your reachable market? How far can you sell? How long can you sell? Right? It must be like Panadol, sell 100 years and still selling. It must be Milo, 100 years and selling. Don't be like something of this multi-level type of product like the lychee thing. When it started, when it launched, wow, this is, they swear by the grandfather's grave, this is the best thing in the world, right? Everybody hoo-ha happened, but within 6 months, everything gone. So it's not a sustainable product. So make the product down before you start, before you do anything, right? So remember this, must be done. Doable, usable, marketable, bankable, sustainable, right? So life of the inventor is such, like you're running through the gauntlet, you run through people, the guy with the start knocking you, right? Right. So as you reach, so you must survive at the end of the thing. So whether you survive or not, at least you have a chance if your thing is dumps. Okay, so I think we should come. This is my golden rule, my advice to most would-be, wannabe inventors, innovators, whatever you call it. Using the traffic light as an analogy, right? So everybody's seen a traffic light, right? So if you see the when you come to a junction, traffic light, when it's a red light, what do you do? What does it mean you have a red light? What do you do? Of course, everyone knows lah. You stop lah, right? Red light means stop. Everyone knows that. What yellow light? What do you do in a yellow light? I think some people tekan lagi kuat lah, faster lah. Before the light turn red, you have to press. So it goes, but no good lah. Right? So yellow light means you look, you stop, you look. How about the green light? Green light, what do you do? Go lah, everyone go. No. If you stop, look and go, you never come out with anything. You should stop, look, and you think. Why people make this? Why are these things existent? There must be a reason why things are there. So maybe you say, oh, the thing is there, you don't like it, you make it better. That's how you get ideas. Stop, look, think. Basic. So last word advice, you have to be realistic. Right? Don't think, oh, I got this idea, this best idea in the world, the whole world is going to owe me a living, people are going to queue up for me, keep me grant, government is going to help me. No, it doesn't happen that way. Or people say, I got a patent, so what? I don't need to think, why should I pay you? Right? I've been living without it since you were born. Right? And never create a problem to solve a problem. Many years ago, there was an invention in one of the exhibition. All right. So this guy, his idea is that he invented some sort of a mechanical monkey to climb up a coconut tree to pluck coconut. Right? It's actually a ladder with a mechanical cycle, something I call a monkey. So the problem is that, okay, you can climb up or cycle up the coconut tree, very easy. The problem is that to move this big construction from tree to tree takes a long time. I think the monkey will come out from 10 trees a day, right? So they are solving a problem with a problem. It won't work, right? So also remember that don't be carried away by ideas. People say, oh, this best idea. It's not the best idea in the world. Nobody has the best idea in the world, right? And you say, oh, I create an invention. What you need, people buy a product. People don't care why you do it. Some people like Ibono or something say, oh, people look at why you do the thing. I say, no, why you do is not my problem. I will buy what you have created. It's a what is important. The why is, maybe you say, why I create this invention because I want to be a millionaire. That is a problem, not mine. For a buyer, what I see is that I'm going to buy the thing, what you're selling, that is useful to me. Whether my money I'm giving you is worth it. That's all I do. So it's a what. Don't say about why. Why is the problem, right? Or rather, people say you must dream high. Okay, dream high. It's good, right? But don't dream too high, lah. Right? So let's say a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, right? What you can get now is better than, I know, all the dreaming. That you also must listen to the critics. When people say it's no good, especially you take part in competition, if the judge says it's no good, of course they must be credible judge. Some judges say for the sake of talking one, that one is. So listen to the voice, jot it down. If people say I think I'm bad, never mind, listen to them, right? Don't argue, but thank them for their advice. Then you go back, think for yourself. It's all about the market, the reason why you went. So it's market, as I said, it must be done, must be marketable. Invention is actually about money. Let's be realistic. It's about money, how much you can make. At the end of the day, if you don't make money, you won't able to actually progress or to further, let's say, improve on the product. And people say, think global. I think it's a good idea, right? If you, let's say, in like a football match, there's a match, there's a way you play at home and away. See? The advantage is when you're home, the chances of you winning because you got support from the local crowd, right? If you cannot even win at home, it's very hard for you to win overseas, right? Okay, this is all. Thank you very much. So, like Anthony says, everybody can win, right? Okay, thank you. Any question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Robest. for the wonderful presentation. Actually, there was a question during Dr. Liu's session. So I'll read the question for you to answer. The question was, normally we are lack of ideas to do invention. Any suggestion on how to get the ideas?
Right, so I think I explained that already, right? So as you look around, you must keep your mind open, your eyes open, right? Like say, if you see something drop on the floor, don't just pick it up, or don't just walk away, or you just pick it up and put it back and you're happy with it. Right? You have to think why this problem started. That will give you some ideas what to invent. Right?
Okay, so far, only this one question have come out.
Okay. So what about you? Have any questions for me?
No, I don't have any.
So anybody, so everybody can start inventing already, yeah? No problem. That's it. No, you got problem, you must ask, right? You must find out the answer.
Yeah.
Don't be shy. See, these days, people are lucky. See, our government give a lot of support. They got this yayasan inovasi, they give grant, they give mentor. So when the day, many years ago when I started, there was nothing. So when you invent something, people laugh, are you sure you can invent, Is it something new? If Malaysia, if invent something, the first impression to them is either you copy it or it doesn't work, right? This is meant, oh, you must be a professor, you must from the universities, you must be a scientist, you must look like Einstein, and only you can invent. People have this perception, right? But these days, it's lucky. So maybe the paradigm has shifted, and people are more accepting to invention. Right?
Okay. I think we have come to the end of this webinar session series. So thank you, Mr. Robest, for your presentation.